G'day again everyone, this is part 2. I actually ran out of room on that SD card, so continuing, look at this. These are pylons, and did the ancient Egyptians make these obelisks in response to memories of something like this, memories of something which only existed in their past and their future? Again, this is Houdin. He's saying this is a royal causeway. This is a counterweight. Fukushima. It does look incredible. See, imagine this is the Nile. This is the Giza complex. Floodwaters rise up. They are captured. They are used in the nuclear reactions. And this is what I've just been showing you. This is... What if this is in Upper Egypt. What if this is a memory of a reactor with a memory of an electricity pylon in front of it built in the New Kingdom? And look at this, extensive system of caves discovered under the pyramids, and people have been talking about this. Are these access tunnels? Now, there is an ancient legend from Herodotus. The Egyptians told him that Khufu was buried in a lake underneath the pyramids. So, was this water used, pumped upwards and used for cooling the nuclear material? Later on, the pharaoh Khufu was buried here. Those Egyptians didn't know what radiation even was. It was a distant memory, but they remember it was a holy place, a source of power, and so they went there and were buried there. This is a Japanese reactor, and this is obviously the control room. It looks very 1970s or 1980s, and all the scientists they're reasonably well protected. They're in this control room. Is that control room basically this, a slightly subterranean area? This is the Khufu Valley Temple, enormous rocks. Now, there is a fantastic author, Robert Temple. He wrote a book, The Sphinx Mystery, another one called Egyptian Dawn. And he went here and he said this area is radioactive. Now, he said this is radioactive granite. But could it be radiation from some explosion from ancient nuclear waste? And if you're playing with radiation, you're going to have to put one of these vests on, these suits. And otherwise you're going to have a hard time. And of course we have these so-called ancient spacesuits. Are they actually radiation suits? Again, just to recap, I think this is some kind of heat sink. This is for radioactive. This could be a cooling tower. This is for excess steam to escape, so it's quite narrow. And this is where cooling happens. That makes sense. The steam rises. This would be the reaction chamber for the nuclear reactions, and we can't have steam escaping the pyramid. Just to recap, we can't have that because this would be radioactive steam. Okay. And here we have a condenser. It goes down into the cooler temperatures. And look, it goes even further. This goes into one of the subterranean tunnels somewhere. This is unbelievable. And of course, it's at the center of the world to channel electricity around the planet via conduits. And of course, there is speculation of what underneath Giza looks like. There are gates barring the access points. I don't know if anyone's been in there. Apparently it's just bats and things, but according to the legend of the Egyptians themselves, it was quite spectacular. And Khufu, like Princess Diana, was buried on an island in the middle of a lake underneath the pyramid. And, you know, I hope it wasn't radioactive water. And of course, the Egyptians were actually, in the 4th dynasty, were also the proto-Inca. Did these people come along and did they say, wow, that's a really nice pyramid, that's a really nice building, let's put our special Inca stones on top of that to decorate it, because these have been carbon dated as around 2600 BC. That is, you know, a few thousands of years before the Inca, by the way, but, you know, don't tell anyone. Or were these designed because we know the Khufu pyramid was shining white. It was shining white limestone. Is that to deflect all sunlight, all heat, all weather, perfectly smooth, to keep the inside the constant temperature necessary for nuclear reactions to occur. And of course, by the 5th dynasty, you had this. They didn't know what the pyramids were anymore originally. They had their own ideas, but they put all this scroll inside, and the archaeologists are saying, you know, these pyramid texts are the oldest religious texts in the world. I don't think so. I think they're quite recent. The 5th dynasty, there was no writing in the earlier pyramids because they weren't interested in putting writing in there. If they were interested in putting religious writings in there, believe me, they would have put them in. This is when possibly science was turning into religion, and pyramids were shifting from whatever they were into something more religious, more intensively religious. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.